It began like any other Sunday in Brentwood, but by morning, two bodies lay cold beneath the stars. Nicole Brown Simpson, Ron Goldman, stabbed, slashed, brutalized. And in the middle of the chaos, a white Ford Bronco, a trail of blood, and one name echoed across the nation: O.J. Simpson, beloved NFL hero, Hollywood actor, American icon, now a suspect in a double homicide. The murder of Nicole and Ron would become the spark that ignited one of the most explosive trials in American history, one that exposed the fractures of race, class, celebrity, and justice in a country already on edge. But beneath the headlines, beneath the cameras, was a story far darker. A story of love, rage, fear, and a nation that couldn't look away. O.J. Simpson met Nicole Brown in 1977. She was just 18. He was a football legend, charismatic, wealthy, adored. They were the picture of glamour. By 1985, they were married. 2 children followed. But behind closed doors, something sinister was brewing. Nicole kept a diary. In it, she wrote about black eyes, bruises, and terrifying nights. Police were called to their home 9 times. Each time, Nicole begged for help. Each time, O.J. walked free. In 1989, he was finally arrested for spousal abuse. He pleaded no contest and got community service. Nicole filed for divorce in 1992, but the separation didn't mean freedom. Friends say O.J. stalked her. He showed up unannounced. He harassed. He threatened. Nicole told her friends, "He's going to kill me, and he's going to get away with it." 1 year later, she was dead. June 12, 1994. Nicole was found just past midnight outside her Brentwood condo, stabbed repeatedly, nearly decapitated. Her friend, Ron Goldman, lay nearby, also butchered. There was blood everywhere. On the walkway, on the gate, inside Nicole's home. Police followed the trail to O.J. Simpson's mansion. They found a bloody glove behind the house. A matching glove was found at the murder scene. There was blood in his Bronco, on his driveway, even on a sock in his bedroom. For days later, prosecutors filed murder charges. But when it came time to surrender, O.J. disappeared. What followed was one of the most surreal moments in television history. Over 95 million people watched as O.J., in the back of a white Ford Bronco, led police on a low-speed chase down Los Angeles freeways. A gun to his head. It lasted 2 hours. He finally surrendered at his home. Inside the Bronco, cash, a fake beard, and a passport. O.J.'s trial began in January 1995. The defense team was a legal dream team: Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, F. Lee Bailey, and a then little-known Robert Kardashian. The prosecution, Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden. They had mountains of evidence: DNA, blood trails, footprints, a history of domestic abuse. But the defense had something more powerful: doubt. They claimed the LAPD planted evidence. They pointed fingers at Detective Mark Furman, a man who was later exposed as a racist and a perjurer. They said the case was sloppy, corrupt, flawed. And then came the glove. In a dramatic moment, O.J. tried it on, and it appeared not to fit. Johnny Cochran delivered the line that would live in infamy: "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." And just like that, a mountain of evidence collapsed under the weight of a single doubt. After 8 months of testimony and just 4 hours of jury deliberation, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. But hang on, because this is where it gets pretty interesting. The verdict landed like an earthquake. In white America, there was shock, outrage. Many saw the case as a clear-cut murder and a failure of justice. In black America, there was celebration. After decades of police brutality and systemic racism, O.J.'s acquittal felt like a rare victory against a corrupt system. The courtroom became a mirror, and the nation didn't like what it saw. O.J. walked free, but he wasn't truly free. He was shunned by Hollywood, shunned by friends. He would spend the rest of his life chased by the shadow of that trial. In 1997, the victims' families filed a civil suit. That time, the jury ruled against him. O.J. was found liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. He was ordered to pay $33.5 million. But justice still felt incomplete. The O.J. Simpson trial wasn't just about guilt or innocence. It was a cultural earthquake, shaking the very foundation of how America views race justice, fame, and truth. What started as a murder case quickly became something else entirely: a media circus, a national obsession, a mirror held up to the ugliest parts of society. The courtroom was just a stage, and O.J., once a symbol of success and achievement, became the lightning rod for a divided nation. When the not guilty verdict was announced, it didn't bring closure. It ripped the country open. For many white Americans, it felt like justice had been denied. For many black Americans, it felt like justice, long delayed, had finally been served, not for O.J., but for the history of injustice itself. In the years that followed, the noise never really stopped. O.J. tried to return to normal life, but there was no going back. He was banned from Hollywood, cut off from corporate endorsements, shunned by the world that once embraced him. In 1997, a civil jury found him liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. He was ordered to pay $33.5 million, a debt he's only paid a fraction of. Then, in 2007, he found himself back in court, this time for armed robbery and kidnapping. Caught on tape, armed, aggressive, the jury didn't hesitate. He was sentenced to 33 years in prison, a poetic echo of the $33 million judgment against him. He served 9 years and was released in 2017. Today, O.J. Simpson lives quietly in Las Vegas. He plays golf, posts occasionally on social media, shares opinions on football, current events, and sometimes even justice. He refers to himself as just a guy living his life, but the shadow never left. To some, he's still a murderer who got away with it. To others, he's a fallen icon, a symbol of the complexities of race and justice in America. And to many, he's a cautionary tale. But lost in all the noise, all the spectacle, were the lives of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman, two people who didn't get a second chance. Their voices were drowned out by media frenzy, courtroom theatrics, and celebrity obsession. But they mattered. And their story reminds us what happens when we put fame above accountability, when the truth becomes secondary to the show, when justice becomes entertainment. The story of O.J. Simpson isn't over, because what it revealed about us, about America, still lingers. And decades later, we're still trying to answer the same haunting question. Not just did he do it, but how did we let it happen?